Right.
I've had 3 margaritas.
Okay, good, because I'm going to do a lot of talking now.
Okay, because I'm gonna stop drinking now.
Probably a good idea.
Because would be bad. 1 tequila, 2 tequila,
All right, all
3 tequila,
right, Canadian. This is a
4.
boot to be bad.
It's a boot to be bad.
Okay. Anyway, right. So, unless you live under a rock or don't seem to care about the company
Maybe I
whatsoever,
do.
there was a showcase this week known as PlayStation State of Play.
Yes.
I have thoughts about it. I watched the show.
Don't care.
Um, well, but let's get into all the stuff that was possibly shown whilst on the showcase itself. Can't remember. Well, what day was it? February 13th or the 12th. It was quite late at night. It was like 10 p.m. I was probably in bed by then because I'm old. Anyway, so there was it was about 40 minutes long, and there was a few things shown.
That's what she said.
So we are going to run through everything,
Oh, no.
and we will discuss things that were shown, and we will talk about some things that we don't really care about. Maybe, who knows? It's kind of like how it went with the developer direct. This, same thing we do with the Nintendo Directs as well. Anyway, so they kick this off with Capcom leading the charge, because another trailer, another showing, another one for Monster Hunter Wilds, the game that is coming out on February 28th, so in probably less than 2 weeks at this point. But they keep showing trailers everywhere they go of this game, and rightly so. It's Monster Hunter. It's probably one of their biggest IPs. But my God, have I had absolutely enough of seeing Monster Hunter Wilds at this point. It's been everywhere.
Also, it's been everywhere, man. Also, Dager says it was a Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday night, but I watched it on a Thursday because I'm an idiot.
It was a Thursday.
So, anyway, so yeah, kicks off with that. It's coming out February 28th. So yeah, it was just showing a little bit more of the story trailer, more of the monsters that are coming, and also showed off some of the free updates that are coming through spring 2025, including some returning monsters. I believe returning. I don't know much. Next up, we actually had 2 games that were shown from another partner, which would be Sega.
Oh man, stupid thing. I went Sega, but my
Nice.
stupid microphone cut out.
Well, you did it then. So, what do you like with remembering old, and I mean old, Sega properties? And by old, I mean Master System and Genesis.
Okay, I think I can put together what you said. You did freeze on my end. I remember what we called Sega Genesis very well because I was actually a Sega gal more than I was a SNES gal.
Sure. Do you remember? It was a game that got bundled in several times with various different collections on the Mega Drive or the Genesis.
Probably. Yes.
Shinobi.
Oh, hell yeah, I remember Shinobi. Everyone remembers Shinobi.
Shinobi Art of Vengeance was announced.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
A stylish hack and slash 2D action game from a very formidable developer.
Ooh.
The creative team behind Streets of Rage 4, Lizard Cube.
Oh, okay, that's like the perfect team to do it.
Actually. Oh, 100%. So they had a great combination with Sega. They are back at it again because Shinobi Art of Vengeance is coming out on PS5, PS4, Series X and S, and PC, 29th of August. And this looks incredible. I'm in.
I like that.
I'm absolutely in. There might be a running theme throughout this, by the way, but I'll see if you can get the theme of what's happening here. Next up, we had another Sega property that was shown in a bit more detail. This is Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. So the next up in the Sonic Racing series. This looks quite interesting. It's coming out on everything, including Switch and PC, PS4, PS5. But they did also announce that there is going to be a closed network test on 21st of February, so next week. So not too bad. Not too bad. Next up, we had another partner, Bandai Namco, with this was a cinematic trailer, an announcement trailer for Digimon Story Time Stranger.
No lie, no lie. I used to love Digimon.
Oh, I think a lot of people did.
Digimon, digital monsters.
Yeah, I never. Look, honestly, I never really got into Digimon myself, but I honestly just this didn't interest me one bit. The art style looks really nice, but Digimon is just not my thing at all. So it's due to arrive at some point during 2025. No real date.
Like, I feel like it's past its prime. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it probably is.
But I mean, that was the whole time of like Pokemon, Digimon. There's some other stuff at the time, and I mean, we're kind of beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I need to refresh myself with this trailer because what the hell was even this?
What, Pete?
So, yeah, I'm just looking. Sorry, don't go away. I don't want the sound on. It's for a game called Lost Solar Side. So Lost Solar Side tasks you with traveling both across worlds and dimensions to stop an oncoming monster threat. Okay, which is due to be released on the 30th of May on PS5 and PC. Graphically, art style wise, it looks quite interesting, but I just need to see whether or not there was actually any freaking gameplay to it, because there wasn't. There is a bit actually. Yeah, it does actually look pretty cool. To be fair.
Cool.
Yeah, there's gameplay to it. It looks like sort of a classic hack and slash, like in a 3D environment, sort of like Bayonetta and Devil May Cry.
Right. Okay. Typical PlayStation fare, I would say.
Not as much recently, obviously, because there have been over-the-shoulder like cinematic story games, but this isn't a PlayStation. This isn't a PlayStation IP. It's just partly funded by Sony Studios.
Right.
So, next up, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. The game's due to be released next week, but there is a demo available now on all the platforms that is coming out, which is PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC. So if you have had no experience of the Yakuza series, or Like a Dragon as it's now called, and you want to dip your toe in the waters, yeah, pun intended, because pirates, yeah, go and download the demo and give this a try. Very much the classic style of Yakuza games in terms of combat, rather than the turn-based RPG games. Next up, we had more DLC announcements for Dave the Diver, because the Like a Dragon stuff didn't stop there, because Ichiban is now coming to the game. Will be due to release at some point in April of 2025. Anyway, next up,
crazy.
We had Splitgate 2. So, if you remember what Splitgate was, the second one is coming. There is a PS5 alpha which begins on the 27th of February. It's a shooter game with portals. And it's due to come out PS5, PS4, Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC at some point, possibly this year. But yeah, go open alpha test. Next up, we had WWE 2K25 with a playable mode reveal trailer for what mode that's now called The Island, which is basically like my clubs, my whatever, like all that load of old crap. Typical 2K fare of charging you microtransactions for crap. Who cares? Who fricking cares? Next up, the only thing that I absolutely skipped to all hell throughout this whole entire thing, because I have no care whatsoever, Borderlands 4.
Okay. So, I'm a Borderlands fan, big time, but I have not cared since Borderlands 3.
Yep, well, look, they had both the Randys, so Randy Pitchford and another Randy that he's roped in to start this off, and I was like, Randy Pitchford, Borderlands 4, don't care, skip. Anyway, according to this, there was gameplay shown, and it's releasing on the 23rd of September for PS5, Series X and S, and PC. Don't care.
I might go check it out, but I'm gonna be very honest. I just have not, and I am a dedicated Borderlands 1 and 2 fan, and I just do not care after that. I like Tiny Tina's Magical Kingdom.
Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
That thing.
Yeah. Right, next up, we've spoken about the game already today. Split Fiction. So these are stepping into the shoes of two writers as they explore their own worlds. So it's a new co-op adventure due out on the 6th of March for PS5, Series X and S, and PC. So, yeah, cool. Next up, Directive 8020. Latest games from the makers of Until Dawn and The Quarry.
Ooh.
So that's super massive, I think it is.
Yeah.
This time we've left Earth for the stars on what I'm sure will be a delightful journey. Oh no, there's a massive hole in a ship's hull. Sounds like some sort of alien is up to no good. So yeah, this is due out on October 2nd for PS5, Series X and S, and PC. This is actually set in the Dark Pictures universe, if you remember what Dark Pictures is. This did look interesting, actually. I did quite like Until Dawn. So if it's a similar vein to that, I might be interested in this. Right. Next up, Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. Sorry, this was the second thing I skipped because I don't care about Five Nights at Freddy's. I couldn't care less. Anyway, it's out on June 13th for PS5. Who cares?
My with Five Nights at Freddy's is I do kind of like the lore. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not really the game itself that I care about. The idea that the one sole creator, made this entire franchise, I'm just like,
yeah, it blows my mind. But he's now no longer involved in that series at all. Anyway.
Well, yeah, but it's still cool though.
I don't disagree. Nana says Lost Soul Aside was started by one guy, and Sony gave him a team to make the game. So there you go. That's similar thing.
Yeah.
Right. Next up was a game called The Midnight Walk. It was a gameplay trailer, a game made from claymation. It looks very, very creepy. The quest is to return fire to this world, and there's a lot of monsters sharing your path. This looked not like my kind of thing, to be honest. It did look cool. Very awesome aesthetic. Very cool, sort of like art style. Not sure that I'll play it, but it's due out for PC, PS5, and PSVR 2, 8th of May. Next up, what if I was to tell you that Konami made a new IP for the first time in years? You're frozen on my side. Oh. I hope you haven't died. Sorry, you froze on my side. I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, I just said that I would be very interested to know what it is.
Okay. If I was to tell you that my initial reaction to this was, what the frick, they basically just ripped off Abe's Odyssey.
Oh. Is there a fart button?
No. So essentially it has a very, very similar premise to Abe's Odyssey. About an octopus and an escape from a food processing facility.
But wait, isn't that just Octodad? That's literally Octodad.
Yeah. Well, Octodad was about like blending into human society, wasn't it?
That is true. Yeah,
no,
but he still had to escape and stuff.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's this essentially is Abe's Odyssey. Weird thing gets turned into food, has to escape from the food processing area. It's called Darwin's Paradox.
Right.
And it's coming to PS5 later in 2025, and
I may have to look at that.
give it a look. I think the art style is nice.
Yeah.
But I have no interest in playing this whatsoever. Absolutely not. Yeah, I looked at it and went, what the hell was this? But I was more surprised that Konami actually decided they wanted to do something. Next up, we have Warriors Abyss. So this is the latest game from Koei Tecmo. It is a take on the Warriors franchise. So, you know, Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah.
But it's a roguelike, so I'm out straight away. But it was shadow dropped right there and then for PS5 and PS4. So it's now available. Next up, Capcom were back. Because Capcom have got a lot going on. If you hadn't already watched it, they basically gave more of a trailer for Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny Remastered, which is due out on the 23rd of May for PS4, Switch, PC, Xbox One. Yep. And then the same trailer for Onimusha Way of the Sword, which is the new Onimusha game, which is due out in 2026. Next up, I don't need to see any more of this. This trailer already leaked anyway. I didn't really give a crap. But it is a game that I'm somewhat excited for. So it did officially reveal the release date for said title. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which is due out on the 28th of August for PS5, Series X and S and PC. They did show something else in the trailer, which was also leaked, which is quite annoying. The return of the Snake vs. Monkey mode. If you remember what that was.
Really? Yeah.
This was where Snake goes through the jungle and tries to capture the apes from Ape Escape. However, they have confirmed that this mode will be available on PS5 and PC. So the Xbox Series X and S will not get this, but they will get something else. They teased an image of Bomberman.
A lot of people want that, so that's good.
Yeah, it was a bit strange, but anyway, there's apparently more coming, so who knows what they're going to do. Because
that is what she said.
Well, it has been teased as well. I say teased. It's been rumoured that this game is also coming to Switch 2. So it's whether or not they decide to replace the Snake vs. Monkey with Snake vs. Yoshi. It was something that was similar in the 3DS version of Snake Eater. So, next up was a game called Hell Is Us, a supernatural action-adventure game developed by Rogue Factor. On a quest to find his parents, Remy travels to Hedera, a closed state trapped in a civil war, only to discover that humans might not be his only enemy. So this was initially... they showed this during Gamescom 2024, so this was just a release date trailer for it. September 4th for PS5, Series X and PC. Next up, DLC for Lies of P called Overture. So this is a prequel DLC for Lies of P. Undertake the role of P again as in this action-adventure role-playing game inspired of Pinocchio. So it's due out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Mac and PC for summer 2025.
That game where the protagonist looks like Timothy Chalamet Ding Dong?
Timothy Chalamet, you mean?
That, whatever. And I saw him this week, and holy crap, he should go in Kylie's galleries of twinks. That's all I'm saying.
He probably will. Anyway, moving on. Next was Dreams of Another, which this was... I'm just going to pop the trailer for this because I forgot what this even was. So bear with. I believe I know what this game was. Oh, this is the one. Yeah, this is where you have to actually sort of destroy things to create. So you have a gun and you have to shoot things to destroy them, but it actually ends up creating stuff at the same time. It's a surrealist shooter game. It has a very interesting art style to it. I'd highly recommend giving the trailer a look. Probably not going to be my kind of game, but does look intriguing enough, let's say. So the tagline is no creation without destruction, because destruction is by no means an end. but a beginning of something beyond. Yeah, so kind of interesting. Due out in 2025 for PS5 and PSVR 2. I'd imagine this plays really interestingly on PSVR 2. I want to skip the next one because I want to come back to it in a bit. I say next up. The next after that was Stellar Blade and the Goddess of Victory Nikkei DLC.
I only watched someone play Stellar Blade, but I liked it. I thought it looked good and it played well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people seem to really enjoy it, so it will be one of those games that eventually I might pick up and play when it goes cheap. But I'm not gonna be what most of the internet was all about with that game. I thought. Sorry, say that again.
I think her booty looked really nice, and that she should not have been slated for that because she had a nice booty.
Yeah,
and
fine.
You have to stare at it.
But it also became the absolutely ridiculous icon of a culture war, which was absolutely freaking ridiculous, and I can't be asked to deal with that.
No, we can't have beautiful women in our games anymore. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved in that discussion. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Next up, PlayStation Plus. So we got a look at what's coming to PlayStation Plus this month. 3 games as of the 18th of February were Jedi Survivor, Top Spin 2K25, and Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Lost Records Bloom and Rage is the new game from, I believe it's the original developers of Life is Strange, which was Don't Nod rather than Deck 9. It's coming in episodes for the first episode is coming in the 18th of February and the second is in April of 2025. The classic catalogue got a small mention. Patapon 3 is coming next week. There was also Armored Core Core Project Phantasma, and Armored Core Master of Arena. Next up, we had an announcement trailer for a game called Blueprints. It's an indie title arriving to the game catalogue in 2025. In this game, you'll find yourself exploring a mysterious manor where the rooms seem to move on their own, which is due out in spring of 2025 for PS5. And it will be in the game catalogue from day one, but it's also coming to PC as well. Next up was a game called Abiotic Factor, a 6-person survivor crafting game where you must create traps to protect the underground facility, which is now your home. Looked okay. Released in summer of 2025, PS5. It will be available in the game catalogue from day one as well. So, next up was a game called Tides of Annihilation. I think this might take your fancy, to be honest, and I'll explain why. So it started out with a look of destroyed London, not to be confused with London on a Friday night. That was from the article. With mentions of the Holy Grail, Tides of Annihilation takes inspiration from Arthurian legend. Though I do wonder if the main character being called Gwendolyn means that she's a reincarnation of Guinevere.
Oh, now that sounds very up my alley.
It is currently in development for PS5. No date given, unfortunately. So this is just an announcement trailer of it. I actually did think that this looked quite interesting. So even I might be somewhat intrigued by this. Next up was a game called Metal Eden from Recon Games. So this is the developer of a game called Ruiner. It's a cyberpunk shooter. You find yourself travelling to the centre of a planet, defeating enemies as you go to find a core. It's due out on the 6th of May for PS5, Series X and S, and PC. Next up, Mind's Eye. So, I just got to read this. So, it looks like it's going to be a tale of why you really should put technology in your talking about putting technology in your head. Brilliant. Essentially tech which has the potential to take control of your body and maybe even mess with your memories. So this was a story and gameplay trailer. It's due out in the summer of 2025 for PS5, Series X and S, and PC. this did look somewhat intriguing again. And I say the final game because I wanted to come back to one. The actual final game that was shown on the showcase was a game called Saros. So I'll just read it as is from the Eurogamer article. The sci-fi vibe continues with Saros, the next project from Housemarque, which is the developer of Returnal.
Yeah,
the sun is dying, and with its death, monsters rise. Saros will be arriving in 2026. It's going to be enhanced for PS5 and PS5 Pro, and it plays exactly like Returnal. So pretty typical Housemarque gameplay style. So yeah, not something that I will enjoy. It's roguelike, so not my kind of thing. Fine. I didn't think this looked interesting in any way, shape, or form. No, thank you.
My thing is, Returnal goes in that group of games that have those dumb, stupid names like Forspoken.
Yeah, and Saros also continues that.
Yeah.
Or Saros, however you pronounce it.
Whatever.
Anyway,
it doesn't matter.
There was a game that I skipped, and probably for good reason.
Okay.
Because it somewhat fits a slight narrative of what I want to go with in this particular showcase itself.
Okay.
So, do you happen to remember when The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered was brought out for the PS5?
Yes,
and they
I
stated that you could upgrade the copy of that game for £10, $10 or whatever.
Yes.
Even though the PS4 version was fully playable on the PS5 through backwards compatibility. Well, Sony have done it again. And have done it for a game that also came out in the same freaking year.
Oh, nice.
For a game that they have no faith in the studio because they've recently just cancelled one of their games and stated that the sequel was also cancelled, or the pitch for the sequel was cancelled, they've come out and stated that on April 25th, 2025, Days Gone is being remastered. Days Gone.
Thing. I guess that's a thing.
The game that recently came to PC and is probably cheaper on PC now than this will be.
Yeah.
And it's adding modes that basically are already available on the PC release, including a higher frame rate and more visual quality and another horde mode. And a speedrun mode. The speedrun mode is actually new. But for $10 or £10, you can upgrade your PS4 copy to a PS5 copy. Or you can go and spend 70 quid on a boxed version for a PS5 one. Or you can just go and buy it on PC via CD keys for probably a pittance. In fact, let's go and experiment, shall we? Let's find out how much the PC copy of Days Gone is costing on PC.
That's what I do.
$14.99.
Yeah, see?
$14.99. And it also comes with so the PC version comes with ultra wide support, 60 frames per, ultra high definition graphics, DLSS, all that sort of thing. All the things that you probably could get in the PS5 Pro enhanced version that you have to pay 800 quid for a console for. Are you starting to get the theme of where I'm going with this PlayStation State of Play was? Because those eagle-eared listeners might be able to understand why people are very pissed off with this showcase.
It would technically, there's nothing new. Not really. I mean, there's some new stuff, but
there was a lot of third-party stuff.
Yes.
That was all basically geared towards other consoles, or is going to be released on other consoles. And the times that they did show anything that was somewhat exclusive to the PS5, It wasn't exactly their first party studios, and was only funded by them to some degree. Or it's a remaster of a game that came out less than 5 years ago. Or a new IP that's coming out next frickin' year. Nothing on the slate in terms of a new IP from a first party studio in 2025. Yeah. This showcase absolutely sucked donkey dick. I'm not bleeping that. I don't care. I want it to be known. I'm not a Nintendo fanboy. I'm not an Xbox fanboy. I'm not a Sony pony. I'm neither one of those things. I just want to see good games. And I went into this showcase wanting to see something good to justify the price of this £500 frickin' paperweight that is sitting next to my frickin' monitor. And there was nothing worthwhile to mean that I'm even going to boot that damn thing up, apart from to play third-party games this year. Because all I'm playing on it this year is probably likely to be Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. And that's only because I've got the rest of the games on PS5 as is anyway. This was a waste of frickin' time.
Well, I have to agree with what Nana says, which is because GTA have effed up everyone's schedule.
Yes, of course they have. They've got everyone absolutely running scared. But you would somewhat think that Sony, as a first-party developer, would at least put some smidgen of information out about numerous ones of the titles that they have out there. Ghost of Yotei, Wolverine, Spider-Man 3, or Venom, or whatever else that they've got cooked up across all their studios. Intergalactic from Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
How many first-party studios have they been buying? No mention of Marathon from Bungie. No mention about...
I think that's been cancelled, actually.
No mention of Fair Games from there, which apparently is now being delayed to next year. Nothing. Any one of the first-party IPs that they actually have previously discussed, not a word. Nothing. And yet they can turn around and go, oh, we're charging you $10 to upgrade. Days Gone. What the frick was this?
Brent says my favorite part was Blueprint since it's coming to Game Pass day one and Abiotic Factor as well.
Exactly the point. Most of these games are coming out elsewhere anyway.
Yeah.
What's the point of owning a PS5? They're giving you no reason to even bother owning one.
Yeah.
So people, I've seen discourse online. People going, "Oh, I just like seeing games showcases. I just like seeing games coming out." Yes, I like seeing games coming out, but give me a reason to play my PS5, not just go on my PC or play my Switch or my Xbox. Give me a reason to boot the damn thing up.
Thing though, and we've said this before on the PlayStation, the Xbox showcase or whatever. They aren't. None of them are. None of
they're
them
not.
Are making us want to. I have not touched my Xbox in 6 months.
I only have because of Game Pass, and even then, I can just do it on PC already.
I was gonna say, like this week, I'll be putting Ultimate back on my PC after I clear it off because it's acting insane.
Look, I'm probably not even going to continue my Ultimate subscription. I might even just downgrade it to a PC one.
Anna, you haven't been watching long enough. Nana says, I've never seen Pete this mad. Oh, yes, he
I'm
has.
pissed because I want to play my PS5. I bought that damn thing for a reason.
I remember when you bought it, too.
Yeah, and I've got buyer's remorse the minute I bought it.
You did. That's not a joke or a...
Only thing I actually really enjoyed playing on it was frickin' Astrobot.
Yeah.
That was worthwhile. And Astro's Playroom. Astro Playroom was great too. But literally, at the moment, I bought an external SSD for, or, an M2 storage for it. Yeah. And all it's got on it is Yakuza.
Yes.
It has become my dedicated Yakuza console. And even then, I might be quite tempted to just buy them on PC so I can play them on deck.
Oh dear, my food is about to show up. That's insane. I didn't think that was
Amazing. Well, we're done anyway. I've ranted long enough about this piece of crap, Sony State of Play, or Sony State of Shite.
Yes, that's what you should call the episode.
Probably will, actually, you know. Or Sony Shite of Play.
Yeah, and then just like asterisk out the I or whatever. But
no, I'm just going to call it Shite of Play.
Okay, do that.